And welcome back, Hornets. Here we are for another fabulous ready reading workbook lesson. Everybody, yay! So today we're going to be talking about summarizing literary text. So at this point in time, I need you to make sure you get out your workbook. And it is open to page 69. So please get out your workbook, pause this video, and get it out if you need to. And I'm assuming we have our workbook out and we are all ready to go. And our very first thing that we do with our pencil, because you should have your pencil and your highlighter in hand, is that we want to go ahead and box our title just like we do in our AHA. Woohoo. So summarizing literary text. That is our main focus today. So we're going to write up here at the top. If I can spell it right. Summarizing literary text. Okay. So over here on the side, we have our standard, which is telling us that we're going to provide an accurate summary of the text based upon this analysis. And it's even further telling us that our theme that we're going to be looking at is dealing with myths and legends. And we've already taken some source book notes on this. And just keep in mind that myths and legends, what they are, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. And summarizing, guys, we want to make sure that we are going to keep we're going to keep it short, objective, accurate, and paraphrased. I'm going to go on down to explain a couple of things about that in just a second. Because our text here says that, have you ever seen a movie that you couldn't wait to tell your friends about? You probably described it to them using a few simple sentences. So a summary is a brief retelling of a story that includes the main characters, setting, important events, includes the conflict, the resolution, and a theme. Now, we also want it to be accurate, which means correct, and also chronological. So we want to make sure we tell it in the events that it happens, and that we want it to be objective, meaning we're using statements that are free of opinions and judgments. Okay, which is why I'm going to go back to what we have at the top. So when we go back up here to the top, the S, remember, stands, we want to make sure we keep it. Oops, let me change my pen. We want to keep it short. The O is objective. The A is accurate. And the P is paraphrased, which means to put it in your own words. Right? So keeping it clean with short, objective, accurate, and paraphrased. All right? So once again, summary is a brief, which means short. We want to make sure we include the characters, the setting, important events, which is the conflict, and the resolution, and the theme. Okay? We keep it accurate by it being in chronological, logical, all the way down the side, and it went out. Chronological order, and we want to make sure it's objective, which means no opinions or judgments. So we're going to look at our comic strip of the story below, and we're going to look and see who the characters are, and we're going to look and also to see the setting and the events. So in our very first box for our comic, we've got only the true king can free Excalibur. And then you have the big dude trying to pull the sword out, and he can't do it. We have the second one, and Merlin says, "Let Arthur have a chance." So Arthur, our young man, tries to pull the sword out, and in our third one, we see he's pulled the sword, and Merlin says, "All hail our new king." So we know that our characters, we have Merlin, we have the big dude, that's what I'm going to call him, And we have Arthur. So what's our setting? So real quick, let's go through. We're going to circle. We have Merlin and we have our big dude. Where are we? Because when we look at what they're wearing, we're just like, wait a minute, Miss Murray. That's not what happens. They're not wearing normal clothes. So they are in ancient times. They are in like old England. We're getting ready to study Harry. We're studying Harry Potter and modern England. This is old time. Medieval, even. Medieval England. Okay. Now, what's our conflict? Well, our conflict, remember we use the star for that one. Conflict. Well, the problem that they're having is getting the sword from the stone. That's our conflict. And our resolution. Our resolution is Arthur. I'm going to run out of room to spell his name. Pulls the sword and becomes the new king. So let's go look at our chart and see what it says real quick. Our setting, oh, look at that, medieval town square. And that is up here. And I think I even misspelled medieval. I did. Let me fix that. I-E. V-A. Not the way I spelled it. Great. Characters, we've got our strong man, who Miss Murray calls the big dude. And then we've got Merlin and Arthur. In our first event, we've got the strong dude tried to pull the sword and he couldn't. Then our next thing is that we've got our kid that comes forward and he tries. And ultimately, he does. And he gets to pull the sword and becomes king. So our summary of this entire comic is, so here we are down here. After many people try and fail to pull the sword Excalibur from the stone, Arthur succeeds and becomes the new king of England. And our theme, guys, is that last part, showing that strength is not the only virtue. Okay? So summaries retell important events and identify setting, characters, and theme in an accurate and objective fashion. Good readers summarize to check their understanding and remember important plot details. So if we were going to use our other chart, that when, where, somebody, once, but, so, then theme, how would this break down? Well, our when and where, we already said, here we are, we're in medieval England. And our somebody is, we've got townspeople. And and they want, a king. They want someone to pull the what? Sword from the stone. So we've got medieval England plus townspeople plus sword. I swear I can spell sword. Sword. And they're trying to pull. And this is our they want sword pulled from rock so they can have a new king. But no one can except for I can't spell Arthur either today. I'm going to erase that because that's just getting really messy. except for, okay, I want my pen back. There we go. Thank you. Except for Arthur. So he becomes the new, I ran out of room. He becomes the new king. Just keep it down at the bottom of yours, guys. I ran out of room on mine. And our theme would be the same. Showing, I like that. Showing that strength. I'm going to draw an arrow, maybe. There we go. Is not the only virtue. Okay? And that is our first step into summarizing fiction. We will get into the next one tomorrow. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions, let me know.